Ready for a no meat, no egg, no dairy, fast, low cost, little energy to make, great tasting meal? Then let's make one. Hello, Jibaritos. If you're not familiar with Jibaritos, it's a Puerto Rican inspired dish that is created in Chicago in the Puerto Rican district. So the main thing that goes on with this is this plantain bread. Now, I don't want to call it really bread, but sort of you're using a plantain instead of bread on this sandwich is what it is. So it's a sandwich and the bread's replaced with plantains. So how this is done is they take a plantain, split it in half, green plantain, that would be green, split it in half, goes into a deep fryer for about 7 minutes, I believe if it was, and that comes out, okay, and then they're smashed in like a tortilla press, probably exactly what they're using. So they mash it down flat, like this one is right here, okay? So that's what it looks like, and goes back in the fryer. And then it comes out really nice and crispy, but not crunchy, not so it just snaps apart, so you can still bite into it. And that's really the key to the whole thing. Now, obviously, when they make the main part of it, which is the meat part that they make, they have their secret ingredients, there's herbs and stuff that they put in. They boil this in a pot with a bunch of, most of the places use white onion, so it's all bubbling in this pot with their seasonings. You really don't know what they use because they're all a little bit different, and they all kind of like guard those as their secret ingredients that go into this flavoring. So I created some of my own with some of the spices that I have, and it really smells good. And I've done my plantain a little bit different. So I first fried in the pan. So I fried it in the pan. So I put a little bit of oil in the pan, put the plantains in here, fried them, mashed them together. So I mashed the two halves together and got them to blend together. As you can see here, they're stuck together. And then I put them back in a pan like this, again, with the foil in it and oil in it, and fried them again. So they came out really good, and you can probably hear that, crispy on the edges. I'm going to put this back in before the final assembly of the whole sandwich, and just to get it heated up and get it a little bit crispy again, get a little bit more of the moisture out of it. And I'm going to do that at the end after I've done the tofu. So I'm replacing the meats with tofu. So this is smoked tofu. And this is going to be, I would almost say it's a half a sandwich, but it's a whole sandwich. So I'm going to cut this in half here, and I'm going to just use both those halves as one half of the bread and the other half of the bread. So it's a little smaller than I think the traditional ones where they use 2 of these. So 2 actual full size plantains make up the whole thing. So I'm changing that up a bit, only because I'm eating this afterward and I don't really want that big of a sandwich. So it's all going to be the same, just a little smaller is all it is, but everything else is going in, it's the same. So I'm taking my smoked tofu. So this is already seasoned. This is one of my smoked tofus that I do in this size on the grill. So this is hickory smoked tofu on the grill, and it already has onion powder, garlic powder, salt, and pepper. And it was grilled with that. So it gets the smoke and the heat get in the garlic powders are really good, and it just smells fantastic. American cheese is one of the also big things that are used to make these in Chicago. So I have American cheese, but it's not real cheese. This is Kraft Not Cheese. And I've done a review on this. You can see it on my channel. I love the stuff. It's fantastic. They did an absolute great job. You really can't tell it's not regular cheese. Melting everything, it's fantastic. So I'm going to use their American. They make a provolone American and a cheddar, and this recipe calls for American. So I'm just matching that up. Another key thing is garlic. So I roasted mine a little bit more than probably they do, but that goes on top of this in the end. You'll see that. I'll spread this over the top part of the sandwich when it's done. And mayonnaise is a very traditional thing they put on. I'm not using mayonnaise. You could use mayonnaise when you make it, if you make it. I'm using hummus. I love hummus as my spread and not mayonnaise. Not really, I haven't run across a great vegan mayonnaise yet, but I just still would probably prefer the hummus. It's got all the kinds of flavors and great stuff in it and everything. It's terrific and it just adds to it. So again, most of what you see in the restaurants in Chicago, they use iceberg lettuce. For me, iceberg lettuce is worthless. So I'm not using iceberg lettuce. I'm using this herb mix, which is really great. Got a lot of nutritional stuff in it. It's fantastic. I love it. That's a little bit of a switch up. So again, this is my version of Jibaritos, and with trying to keep most of the stuff traditional. The big part is the plantain bread. For me, that's what I think of it. And obviously, whatever spices and stuff they use to cook their meats and stuff with. Also, tomato goes on it. That's another traditional thing that goes on it. And I'm replacing the green onions, the white onions with green onions. And I'm going to do that here right now. I'm going to get this ready. So I'm going to sort of like make a recook of my tofu. I'm going to get it a little bit more moist. I'm going to put some water in here. I'm going to put that in here. The spices go in and the green onions go in. And I'm just going to let that bake for about 6 to 8 minutes. And then that'll be nice and hot inside when I put the whole thing together. So I'm going to get that prepped right here, right now. So I'm going to put a little bit of water in this pan, just like that. I'm going to put the seasoning in here. And then I'm going to dip and flip over back and forth this, and then it's going to go in the oven along with the green onions. So that's really the... And I'm not going to leave these very large. I'm going to leave these kind of medium size. Let's clear off the tops of them. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to make them about a ½ inch. They'll be good. I'm going to put a lot in because the original recipes require a lot of onion. So I'm going to put a ton of this in. It's going to cook down. Okay, so I'm going to get this into the moisture here below, just like that. Beautiful. And then I'm just going to pile the onions on top of it. And this is going to bake. Beautiful. There you go. Okay. I don't know if you can see that, but there it is. It's really gorgeous. It smells fantastic already. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this in the oven, toaster oven. I'm going to get this probably about 6-8 minutes. I'll check it and just see how wilted the onions are and how it all blend together. And then after that, I'm going to just reheat my plantain and just get it nice and hot. So and then I'll come back and I'll put this all together. I'll have the tomato sliced up. That's really all there is left to do. It's quite simple. And I'm going to get this in the toaster oven, and I'll be back. Okay, it's out. Everything's cooked, heated up. Not really cooked, but you can see this looks beautiful. The onions softened really nicely. It's absorbed some of that nice moisture and everything in there. It smells really great. I reheated the plantain. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this in half, just like that. Very good. Okay, and then I'm going to build it on this half. So I need all that, but I'm going to pile this on here. That's normally how it's done. I'm going to take the tofu, and that goes on top of there, just like that. I'm going to take the cheese, put that on top of there. Beautiful. Tomatoes. Doing 4 tomato slices on here. It's going to be a monster sandwich. Okay, on this half, I'm going to put my hummus. Could have put it on the bottom, the top, doesn't really matter. You can flip your sandwich around if you want. That's going to go on top of that. Wow, it's beautiful. Okay, now, the traditional thing is this garlic, okay, which I'm going to spoon off of here, goes right on top of here. Just like that. And you know, these proportions are all basically what you think you'd like on here. But let's see, let's get that just like that. That spreads out, and you just bite into all this with the garlic and everything. And you might want your garlic a little more raw than that. I like mine a little more done. So you can see what that looks like right there. All right, let's give it a taste. Wow, it just looks fantastic. It's going to be a bit unruly to deal with. Of course they are. That's how these habanito sandwiches are. Mmm. Oh my. Wow. A bit of crunchiness from the plantain, the sweetness, the smoked tofu. This is absolutely spectacular. I had no idea how good this was going to be, whether it was going to be good or bad. This is just fantastic. It is so, it's going to be worth getting messy to eat this. It is just amazing. I'm FOODMAKER V. And remember, the best investment you'll ever make is an investment in your health. I'll see you next time.